Picture this. It's a quiet night. The world is asleep. The streets are empty, and the only sound is the soft whisper of someone making dua. A believer sits alone, head bowed, tears silently falling. No one sees him. No one hears him. There are no cameras, no applause, no recognition, just him and Allah. That tear, that single drop rolling down his cheek, might seem small, almost invisible, but in the sight of Allah, it could be the reason he enters Jannah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us about 7 categories of people who will be shaded under the throne of Allah on a day when there will be no shade but His. Imagine the day of judgment. The sun brought so close that people are drowning in sweat, some up to their ankles, some to their knees, some even to their necks. The fear is unbearable. Every soul is desperate for relief. And then, imagine Allah calling you by name. Come here. Stand under my shade. Why? Because once, in this dunya, you remembered Him and cried when no one was looking. The Prophet ﷺ said, 2 eyes will never be touched by the fire, an eye that wept out of fear of Allah, and an eye that stayed awake guarding in the path of Allah. This means that even if a person has sins, if they have shed sincere tears for Allah's sake, Allah may forgive them and protect them from Jahannam entirely. Think about that for a moment. A single tear the size of a raindrop has the power to extinguish the fire of hell for you. But this tear must come from a heart that is alive, a heart that knows its Lord, that fears standing before Him on the day when nothing will be hidden. The Quran describes believers as those who fall down in prostration and weep when they hear the words of Allah. These tears are a sign of humility, of Iman, of connection. There's a beautiful story of Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu anh. He was the toughest of men, the one whose footsteps Shaitan would run from. Yet he would often cry when reciting the Quran. Sometimes people behind him in Salah would hear his sobs when he recited verses about the Day of Judgment. The strongest man in Medina was not ashamed to weep for his Lord, because he knew that those tears would be his salvation. Now picture this scene on the Day of Judgment. People are running, screaming, pleading for mercy. The heat is unbearable. Then Allah commands His throne to give shade. And among those chosen are the ones who cried out of fear of Him. You step into that shade, safe, cool, calm, while others are still waiting. Can you imagine the relief? Can you imagine the joy of realizing that one private moment you thought no one saw is now the reason you are saved? And perhaps the most beautiful reward, those tears are beloved to Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said that no drop is more beloved to Allah than a tear shed out of His fear. That means that every time your eyes well up when you think about Him, His mercy or His punishment, Allah notices, Allah loves it, and Allah rewards it. So the reward for a tear shed in fear of Allah is not just forgiveness, it is honor. It is shade on the Day of Judgment. It is protection from hellfire. It is elevation to a rank you may not have reached by deeds alone. So the next time your heart trembles during prayer, or you remember a sin you committed, or you hear a verse that shakes your soul, don't wipe away the tear before it falls. Let it drop. Let it be your witness before Allah, because that single tear might be the reason you walk into Jannah smiling while others are still weeping.